Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a look using the Makeup Revolution chocolate minis. So I did like a swatch fest of these yesterday, and I did say that I was going to create a look using all of these palettes. 4 of them are eyeshadow palettes and 2 of them are highlighter palettes. And what I said I was going to do was use 1 shade from each of the eyeshadow palettes, or at least 1 shade from each of the eyeshadow palettes, just to get a general feel of how the shadows perform. I'm not too sure if the formula is the exact same in each palette, because by the looks of it, there are a few ingredients in these shadows which are a little bit different from one another. I mean, there's some ingredients which are the exact same, like the mica and the talc, but aside from that, there are a few other little differences in the ingredients. So I just want to get a general feel of how these perform. So it's kind of going to be like a first impression, and I'm going to do the same with the highlighter palettes. I'm going to just use like 1 shade or 2 to like do my highlight as well. So I'm going to start off with the Nudes palette, and this is what it looks like. As I'm looking at this palette, I'm kind of thinking, I'm not too sure if there's a shade that I would like to start with in that palette. I've got so much powder on my shirt because I've literally just had my concealer on and put powder on it. Okay, so this is the Nudes palette, and this is the Rose Gold palette, and I do prefer this palette to start off with, and then I'll move on to the other one. So I'm going to start off with this shade here. Right now, I don't know if it translates onto the camera, but right now my skin is looking and feeling so dry, and I think that's because I literally just gotten home. I had on different makeup, like I had used my Sleek Oh So Special palette, of course, because you know I'm trying to pan that palette, so I use that on a daily basis. But I did like a really dark look, and I had to come back, quickly take that off, and then I'd swiped some of the dark shades onto like my skin here and here, and I had to kind of like reapply makeup in those spaces. And because I've been a little bit oily today, I had to pack on a bunch of powder. Okay, so that's a really nice transition shade. It blended out quite well and quite quickly. Now I'm going to go on to the Nudes palette, and I'm going to use this shade here, this peachy shade. I'm going to kind of just go over it, but I'm not going to go up high. I'm just going to stay in the exact same place and just go backwards and forwards. So on the last shade, I literally had it on the crease, and then I brought it upward toward the brow to kind of ombre it. But with this shade, I'm just keeping it in the crease, I feel like this shade, even though it's warmer, because I've just used a cool tone shade to go in my crease, and then I've used a warmer toned shade over it, and actually sitting on top of it really well. And normally I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm doing a warm toned look, I keep it warm. If I'm doing a cool tone look, I keep it cool. But I'm always cool. No! So lucky I just dropped this. Oh! Okay, so now I've got the chocolate orange palette, and I've got the chocolate mint palette. And one thing that I'm noticing with all of these palettes, okay, so far anyway, is that they all have some very peachy / orangey shades. Like, look at this one. Of course, this is the orange palette. Of course it's going to have orange in it. Of course it is. There's these 2 shades here, this one and this one. Then this is the mint palette. It's got, and again, a very orangey shade. Then the Rose Gold palette, again a very peachy shade. And then the Nudes palette, again a peachy / nude orangey shade. Like, every single one of them has a variation of this shade. Like, I don't think that it was necessary to put so much emphasis on this shade. Like, it just was not necessary. Sorry, I had just picked up a little bit on my brush accidentally. I need to get rid of it. Okay, so let's have a look at these two palettes. Okay, I need to use a dark shade, so I'm thinking to use, okay, hold on, wait. I'm going to use this chocolatey shade in the crease and bring it to the outer. This is just to give it a little bit of definition, a little bit of dimension. I'm able to spend a little bit more time doing this than I do my makeup in the morning. Because in the morning, I'm literally like, just quickly do an eyeshadow look and get out the door. And as I've told you, like recently, I've just been doing the exact same purple eyeshadow look with a little bit of black on the edges for my Oh So Special palette. And because I've been doing it so often, it just becomes so quick and easy. But I'm now spending more time, I'm able to spend more time on camera doing my eyeshadow than I am in the morning. And that says a lot, because I ain't going nowhere right now. This is the end of the day. Like, as soon as I finish this video, I'm going to be taking all of this off. Okay, so I'm finding that this shade, I'm having to work to, you know, give it, like, get it to blend. I'm using the darker shade brown, and I'm just going to dot it over it a little bit. There you go. Like, the pigment is nice, don't get me wrong, but I'm finding I'm having to finesse it a little bit. O to the K. I think for this palette here, I'm going to wait until the very, very end to use it. I really want to use the green that's in there as well though. So I'm going to take a flat brush and I'm going back to my rose gold palette. And yesterday I did say that I was absolutely in love with this shade here. So I'm going to get that on a flat brush. And I'm not even going to be stupid and trance it. I'm going to use a fixing spray, and as I spritzed that, a whole heap of fallout just went all over my lap. So I'm going to put that right in the corner, and I'm bringing it kind of like a third of the way. I don't want to do the whole lid. Then I'm going to take this mustardy yellow, again from the rose gold palette, and I'm just going to pop that next to it. And then I'm going to kind of blend it into it by overlapping a little bit. There is literally fallout all over me right now. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now going into the mint chocolate palette, I'm going to take this green. I'm going to put it just on. Oh, now this is like, it's not that pigmented, to be 100% honest with you. Like, this is tiny bit of green, and this green looks like pow in your face. So I would say if you were gonna get this palette, make sure that you also have a base to go with it, because you're most likely gonna find that it's not, like, that green is just not as pigmented as it could be, and it's the same for that yellow as well. It's not as pigmented as it could be. So now I'm just trying to blend out this extra brown that I've put in the crease. Okay, I'm gonna stop here with this look. I'm really just like feeling that I just need to, I just said that I'm gonna stop, and what do I go and do? What did I just say? Hand, what did I just say, hand? I'm gonna stop here. Oh, let me do the highlight, and then I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think. I'm not even gonna finish the eyes. Let's just move on to the highlight. So I have the rose gold glow and the chocolate elixir glow. Something that I said yesterday was that the packaging for the both of them is very, very close to one another. Although the elixir glow is the exact same packaging as the rose gold glow. They're both like matte rose gold, drippy with the exact same palette packaging color. And what I did say was, if you were to store these together, you're gonna have to open them and figure out which one is which. Or, well, no, you can have a look on the back, because one says rose gold and the other one says chocolate elixir glow. So you can just look on the back, but I like to be able to just look at something and know what it is. But as I did say also yesterday, normally people store their highlights and their palettes in separate places. So if you did get both, it's not that much of a big deal if you do store your palettes in a different place from one another. Okay, so using the Elixir Glow, I'm going to go in with this tapered pointed highlighter brush or blush brush. It doesn't say what it is on here. I'm going to go into this pink one because y'all know I love my pink, and I'm going to go down center of the nose. Okay. Oh yeah. That is, see, these are the times where I wish I had a monitor so I can see what you guys are seeing. But in real life, this is really shiny. It's really, really shiny. To the point where I would need to get a blush brush and just go over it so that it's not so bright for when I'm wearing it outside. And using the rose gold glow, I'm gonna use, I already used the pink, so I'm going to use this gold here on my cheeks. Oh wow. And it will be the same situation with this, just going over it with a blush brush will just help to diffuse some of that, and so that it doesn't just look like a stripe. Like, I just tend to get a blush brush, and whatever was left on it, I just kind of just go over the edges of the highlights so that it looks kind of seamless. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my overall opinions on these mini palettes. So we already touched upon one thing, which was the fact that some of the palettes just look the exact same. I think that they could have taken the time to make a couple of them look a little bit different from one another, because it just kind of looks, to me, it just kind of looks lazy, like they just couldn't be bothered to make the rose gold and the Elixir Glow palette different. Just like, you could have made them look different. But I guess it's more about what's inside the palette, not just what it looks like on the outside. So with the eyeshadow palettes, I kind of feel like, just like with a lot of iHeart Revolution products, some things are hits and some things are misses. I'm feeling like the rose gold and the nudes palette, these two are most definitely the better out of the two. Yes, I know I only really used a couple of shades from each of the palettes, but I kind of feel like the softer shades perform better. They're easier to blend out. These two, I find that the pops of color, like the yellow, the green most definitely, is very, very patchy. It's not very pigmented. You definitely have to use a base in order to build up those pops of color. And also the dark colors, like the dark browns, it takes a little bit of blending to actually blend it out. And I understand that we want pigment, we want the pigment to be there, but something that I think that a lot of people have cottoned on to over the recent months, especially, something that I've noticed people saying, is that the more pigmented something is, a lot of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, you might find that it's a little bit harder to blend out, or you have to take even more time blending it out, because it's just stiffer on the eye. It's just how it works, unfortunately. And that is what we have here, especially with the deeper shades. I kind of feel like the rose gold and the nudes, I don't feel like you'd need to have both, but I think the better one out of the two is definitely the rose gold. I feel like there's plenty of mattes with a couple of shimmers. This one here is the opposite way around. It has so many shimmers and just a couple of mattes. So I would say, out of all of the palettes, which one is the one that I would recommend? It would definitely be the rose gold one. I feel like everybody will be able to create everyday beautiful look. If you're using this for traveling, it will be like a no-brainer, because this palette literally just does it all for you. Like, the way it's set out is just perfect. I also kind of feel like either way, because they're only £6, getting all of them if you was to get all of them, if you wanted all of them, something that I always say, you're not breaking the bank by getting them. Although counting your pennies, I mean, we all know that pennies lead to pounds, so you don't need to have all of them. But if you did want to get all of them, you're not going to put yourself in a financial crisis. Let's keep it 100. But this one I feel is the better one out of all of them. As for the highlighter palette, I kind of feel like these are so, like when I swatched them yesterday, they just felt so dry, but they are kind of bright, so I don't feel like you're not going to get what you want for it. Like if you like bright highlights, you're going to get what you want from these. Like the swatches that I did yesterday definitely proved that. I know that we don't literally put our finger in the highlight and swatch it on our face, but it did show how bright they are. Another thing is these kind of palettes I don't feel are suitable for people who may have deeper skin tones. Yes, this one here is a gold, but it's not one of those rich golds. It's a very, very light gold. It's like a pale gold. So people who have deeper skin tones, please be careful when purchasing these. Yes, we do know that you can use your highlighters for your eyeshadow or for like your inner corner or your brow bone. We know that, but if you were intending on using these for what they are intended for, which is as a highlight, just keep it in mind that they are on the lighter side, so you may find that you might be looking like a tin man. Like, I don't know how I look, but I can see what I look like in my mirror, but there's like a lot of light going on, so I need to see what it looks like in natural light. But yeah, I'm not 100% sold with these palettes. I'm really not. Like if I didn't use the pops of color that was there, like the yellow and the green, all of the other shades are just natural shades. All of them are pretty much natural shades aside from that green and that yellow, and they didn't really perform that well. That's why I don't feel like it's necessary for you to get every single one of them. On top of that, like my clothes are just a mess from all the fallout. I expect fallout, but I didn't expect this much. I'm not trying to bash the product, but I can't say that go out and get them, they're amazing for £6. I can't really say that. I would probably say to you, get their bigger palettes, get the bigger ones from their normal range. This mini malarkey, I feel like they were trying to follow Too Faced. You know when they did like the chocolate chip palette and the matte chocolate chip as well, like they had white one and they had the brown one, and then you know Urban Decay, they had their Naked Heat and then they had the mini Naked Heat, and I just don't feel like it's necessary to do things like this. That's just me personally. I feel like if you are not a collector of these palettes, you can give these a miss. I don't feel like you're missing anything at all whatsoever. That's my opinion. If you still want to get them, by all means, and please let me know what you feel, because we could be different and that's okay. That's okay. But in my opinion, I just don't think that it's a necessity or that they're anything special. Take away the green, you take away the yellow, and all four of those palettes are just natural neutral palettes. They're just natural palettes. They're just natural shades. You don't need it. I was thinking of buying a couple of these to put in the giveaway, and now I'm just thinking like, I'm not doing it. No, because I'm not going to give you guys something that I just don't recommend. Anyway, so I hope that you found this useful. For all of you guys who do like to collect these palettes or who love Makeup Revolution, please don't see it as me bashing them, because I'm really not. Like, I spent my own money, and I always do spend my own money on everything that I review. It's just my opinion. And you know what? Let me know what you guys think. I mean, you guys know I love like having discussions with y'all down below, so drop me a comment, let me know what you feel. Even if it's not about these, even if it's about like the bigger ones. Oh, I am going to be doing comparisons of the minis and like their bigger sisters at some point. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm waiting for like a little shaggy like material to come so that I can do like my flat lays and all of that good stuff. So when that comes, I'll be able to do like a pretty little video with that. Maybe I should go online and go and order that now. Actually, that's what I'm going to go and do after I wash off this makeup. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.